Hey, everybody. Zach and Chuck show tonight. We want to apologize. It's my fault, not we. I'm apologizing. I got caught up working on something that I had to get done, and I just couldn't get on earlier. And since I control the StreamYard, there you go. So you just have Zach and I tonight. Zach, how are you doing?
Doing well, doing well. It's almost 4th of July. Hope everybody's got some fun plans. But
Well, I actually I was talking to a client in the UK. I said, "What are you doing for July 4th?" And he said, "Nothing."
That's right. It's the opposite of the
Oh, I'm
celebration.
sorry. I didn't mean to rub it in. Did you hear that Mexico is going to be playing the UK in Mexico to relive the Hand of God goal from, was it 84 or whatever that was? This should be so UK in LS Checa in a couple days, I guess. And I guess our game, US starts tonight at 8 o'clock. We're playing Bosnia Herzegovina. I hope they don't hold any grudges. But we got going for us. Let's go ahead. We got some folks listening, and some people will tune in later. What I want to do tonight is actually kind of walk through each of these cases, but we're going to do that by sharing with you the cases as we find them in the lives of the government here. So we've got this case here. We're going to talk about Saito. Saito is our recently filed case, Zach. That is the one where we are filed for the new DV. We're going to be amending the complaint. We're going to add a 75 country claim. Don't worry about that. We're not adding a 212F claim. Somebody asked about 212F. We're not litigating 212F in this case. We don't have time to litigate 212F. The reality is, if we can get the visas issued, we can deal with. We have 6 more months to deal with 212F. So let's get the visas issued first. And we are preparing either a PI or a TRO. And I'm leaning more towards. I wasn't going to file a TRO. But at this stage, with less than 90 days left, I think we probably have to leave. It's just a tougher lift, and I have to go through all the declarations to see if we can find some really compelling circumstances that we can use as part of that. Our case, Zach, has been assigned to Judge Leon, but it is not consolidated. That is a difference, isn't it, Zach? So unlike the good luck case, where the case we're consolidating to one, Judge Leon has not done that. And everybody, as people pointed out in my live today, Curtis filed a notice of changed circumstances. There are no changed circumstances. I think Curtis may have kind of been a little pretty aggressive with that. But we're certainly not filing in our case because it's already been filed. The judge is obviously aware of it. And so once we can get a TRO PI file, which will be this week by Friday night, and we'll get this filed. Or maybe Saturday morning, but hopefully Friday night. It's just it's a long week here in the United States, and it's hotter than heck here. So that's Saito. That's where we are. We're going to be adding 2 plaintiffs that somehow got missed, Zach. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't Zach's fault. I'm not pointing fingers at Greg, but I'm just saying 2 people got missed. And so we're going to be adding them back in as well, and that'll be in the complaint along with the 75 country ban. And we will also be dealing with the PI this week. So that is the scope of the Saito case. So let's go ahead and get rid of the Saito case here, and we'll go to the next screen, which is Yilla. We get a lot of questions about Yilla, Zach. Let me bring this up here on the screen so that folks can see what we're talking about. Share the screen. You have to go through this whole thing 18 different times to share this stuff. So here's Yilla. And yes, Zach is entering his appearance. Don't worry, and Jesse will too. Don't worry, it's there. So as everybody knows, we filed the TRO in May, and the government never responded. So because courtesy requires us to reach out to the government and say what's going on, they told us they had never been served. But we know we served them because we've got the FedEx receipts, but they're saying they haven't been served. So we had to reserve them. Okay, so that's the bad news. The good news is this, Zach. What is the good news in Yilla?
So they're really, really willing to work with us is the good news. We chatted with the government attorney, since last week. We've got a list of plaintiffs sent over. We are also chatting with the civil chief. She said that she's going to put us in touch with them because she knows we want to talk about this. So we should get some real movement on the TRO soon. At the same time, they have been pushing the cases, and I've been getting just a lot of approvals. I feel like every day I get 3 to 5 folks letting me know that they've gotten approval. So keep letting me know, because I love hearing that. Yeah, we've been seeing some great movement, and we will be in touch with the civil chief here soon about, hey, let's get this.
I know the civil sheet you're sending over will list the most urgent cases first. These are people, might be doctors, they might be out of status. I mean, these are urgent cases. We know everybody's urgent. We get that. And we were able to talk to government counsel. Now, the thing is, the lawyer we're dealing with is not assigned to this case. She is on one of the other cases that we're dealing with. And we just reached out. Zach reached out to her. She's very nice. She's overwhelmed. And so she said, look, get me the list and I'll push it. So there we go. That's good news. So that's somebody's whining about this already. Sadaf Mohammadi. Why can't our lawyers get in touch with government lawyers to get our case adjudicated? Oh, you shouldn't have asked the question without listening to the rest of this, please.
Let me actually let me just chime in here, though. I think one of the big things that we need to clarify about the 39 country cases is that while we are pushing cases and we're able to push cases as best we can, the cases themselves are not unreasonable delay claims. They are just challenges to the benefits policy and the negative factors policy, which, as you guys know, Dorcas has currently, I mean, it's notice of appeal and there's a hearing on the 8th for the stay. But Dorcas has said, hey, there's no pause, there's no negative factors policy right now. So, we're pushing as best we can to still get folks adjudicated. But ultimately, looking at the claims themselves, we're not able to say unreasonable delay, get this person adjudicated. It's our, in our complaint. This is kind of like an additional thing that we're trying to do for folks who
we did not file a mandamus, and this actually Gelador KKK. I would take the triple Ks out of there, big guy. Yes, we just talked about this is the Yilla case. We just talked about this case. So in fact, we're on top of this. There you go. All right, so that's the Zilla case. The Yilla, I call it the Zilla case, the Yilla case. Let's go on to the next case here, Zach. Let's see by which one this may be. Bear with me as I go back into my choice screen here. Let's go with this one right here. Chukumba. This is the Chukumba case, and the government requested an extension of time to respond, which was far long after their answer was due. And the judge granted them an extension of time till August 5th to respond to the complaint. So that's kind of where that is. There's not much we can do at that point. We really want to get these approved. We have reached out to the government lawyer, who you can see right here, and we will see if he can't get these approved as well. But remember, Chukumba is a Department of State case, right? So this is not a 75 country ban case. Chukumba is really dependent on Masood. I mean, they're kind of linked together, right? So we're really dependent on Masood here, and we're just going to be hopefully getting an answer soon on Masood. Let's see if I can find the Masood case really quick here. Bear with me, Zach. I need to delete some of the ones that I'm looking at here, and that makes it easy for me to find.
I'm liking pulling up the docket instead of just that little thing at the bottom.
Oh, that's a good idea. So for some reason, the Pacer website is quite delayed. It's kind of slow tonight. I don't know why. I mean, I don't think a lot of lawyers are on there at 6 o'clock at night. So
everybody's on vacation this week.
Yeah, let's take a look at. Well, let's go to the Northern District here. Let's just go to the Nicaro case. How do you say this? I say Nicaro.
I said Nicaro.
Nicaro. All right. So the Nicaro case. Let's just screen. We have all this stuff. I wanted you guys to show this because after we get rid of the plaintiffs here, we talk about all the pleadings, everything that's gone on here. The government has responded as of, go down here to the 59th filing. They responded to their reply brief, or our reply brief that we responded. They then wrote in and said, hey, intervening events are, we approved some cases. That was their intervening events. We know of at least 7. Is it 7 or 8? Do you have more, Zach, that have been approved?
Way more. There's way more. It's I don't have an exact count.
Nobody's telling me. They must be telling you. So
Yeah, it's going through the contact page. I would say we're
Oh, great.
probably
I'm glad people are
just
doing the contact page like they should. Thank you.
so. I mean, beyond just the 765s, I mean, we're getting 45s, we're getting I-140s, we're getting I-129s. I mean, there's a tremendous number of approvals happening here through this.
So do we know how many people are left in this lawsuit that have not been adjudicated?
I could definitely figure out, but I
Yeah,
if not,
add that to your list of things to do, Zach. To figure
my
out who's
to-do
left.
list for
Maybe
the
we'll make
holiday
everybody-
week. Yeah.
Well, I would love a decision from the judge, basically changing his last decision, which is what he told us to do. The government is terrified of that. They quote won one case. I don't think they really won it, but if he rules the other way on these, then they lost the case. And so that's kind of where it is with Nakaro, and we're actually in good shape there. All right, we're going to stop that screen, and we're going to go to the next case. Let's see if I can run the Masood. Let's go to Masood. See if I can find the Masood case here as part of this. Let's see, Masood. I think this is Masood. No, this is Raji. This is the Raji case. All right, Raji was a case filed in May in Maryland. PI has been filed. The government basically asked for an extension of time to respond to the PI, and the judge, remember this, literally within I think it was half an hour, the judge granted it. And then 2 weeks later, instead of responding to the PI, the government filed a stay, and we literally immediately we have 2 weeks to respond to his motion. We filed in a day. And that's where it sits in this judge's calendar. So that's kind of where the Raji case sits. They want to try to delay the case.
Let me jump in on this.
Adjudicated.
Let me jump in real quick though. So there's a lot of questions on what it means when people are when these cases somebody files a stay. They're not filing a stay of the pause or the negative factors policy. They're filing a stay of their briefing schedule. We basically saying, hey, Dorcas has already got rid of the pause. Let's put everything kind of, on pause here until and unless we have to fight about the pause again. So the stay is not about we're going to pause everybody's cases again. The stay is let's not make me fight about a TRO or a PI in this case. So it's something that they shouldn't do. But if the case is stayed, people are still going to be adjudicated. And we are seeing a lot of people adjudicated in Raji as well. So yeah, even if the case is stayed, people are still going to be adjudicated. Your cases are not subject to a pause again. You don't need to.
Zach, I do want to add something, Zach, because people are getting adjudicated. People are going to be upset. I didn't get adjudicated. Look, somebody's last. And these, near as I can tell, Zach, there is no rhyme or reason to the order of these cases. So you will have people that filed whatever you asked for after you that are getting approved. And you're not.
I have premium process cases from like January that people haven't gotten decisions on, and then I have people who file premium processing in May and they have decisions. It seems like, yeah,
Now, Zach, has anybody gotten any money back?
Not yet. That's the next step after
that
this.
Is the next fight. That is the next fight, is to get money back for everybody. Let's take a look here. Let's see which case this is. This is the Masood case. All right, the Masood case. This is the 75 country pause case. So this is kind of the history here. We filed this back in March, amended the complaint a month later to get everybody in, and then we filed the government. We filed a motion for summary judgment. Government filed a response. They filed a motion for summary judgment too, and a motion to dismiss. We responded to that. The government, we replied to our motion for summary judgment. Then, as well as an opposition to their motion, and then the government filed their final reply brief on the 26th. So Masood appears to be fully briefed, Zach, as of last week. So somebody asked here, are we going to see an adjudication of this by the end of July? And the answer is that's entirely up to Judge Nichols.
Maybe. I would love to. Yeah, I mean, because we've got this challenge during the 75 country pause, the 75 country pause cases through this one. We've got a couple of other cases that are also doing this that aren't us. The DV cases challenging the 75 country stuff, like they're all in the same district. They're all, I would love to see this was kind of be a cascading thing. One of these comes down, and then all of the decisions come out.
All the rest just follow along.
Exactly.
All the rest
Exactly.
just follow along as part of that. All right, let's take a look here at the next case, which is, drum roll, please. They don't make this easy in here. This is the Doe's versus Rubio case in DC. This is the visa revocation case, and as you can see, we filed this back in October of last year. And remember what happened? Government shutdown, government closure, government behind, government gets more time to answer the complaint. And then they ultimately, instead of answering, they file a motion to dismiss. We filed our response. They filed the reply. We both filed supplemental authority on the case. And we are waiting now for 2.5 months for the judge to make a decision. This is also with Judge Nichols in DC, a separate case with Judge Nichols. So that's kind of where it is. I can't tell you why Judge Nichols is taking this long, but this is trying to recover the visas, and the motion to dismiss is probably the easiest way to get over that hurdle. Because if we can win this motion to dismiss, that means we've got a really good shot to get these visas unrevoked, if possible. I mean, this is always a long shot, but we're trying, Zach. So that's kind of where
it's a messed up case that it even had to be brought. I mean, the saga started probably about April 1st is when I filed the first one of my
April
cases.
2025, yeah.
So yeah, we're a year and 3 months after we started getting the CVIS records revoked, and here we are still trying to get people's visas back.
All right, let's get our last case here. I think this would be everybody. This is the I think we call it the Chernak case now. This is initially called the Licht case, and he's been dismissed. So we got the Chersak case, and this also we'll go down here to all the pleadings. Everything has been filed with the court as of 2 weeks ago. All the briefs have been in for 45 days. The joint appendix is in 2 weeks ago, and we're just literally waiting on a decision here from Judge Leon. I mean, it's just can't tell you timelines. And yeah, we talked earlier that Curtis had submitted a notice of change circumstance, which is not really a notice of change circumstance. And then we'll be it's good for everybody that we ended up being with Judge Leon. We can push the whole thing forward together in a separate litigation in our new TRO/PI. So
just so everybody knows what that notice of change circumstances is kind of saying, it's more or less being like, hey Judge, we only have 90 days left. Can you make a decision, please? Because we really need there's not a lot of time left for your decision and then Department of State to issue visas. So that's
I don't have any doubt that he knows about the case. It's just maybe he's writing the decision already. I don't know. Kimmer, when we had the deadline with Judge Amin, no, who was the judge in Goodluck?
Was it Mehta?
Mehta, Judge Mehta. Amin Mehta. His name Mehta. Judge Mehta. We filed everything like about this time, but he didn't issue a decision until September 9th. And we did our arguments in early August. So, this is not a surprise. And yes, people are going to ask, is there time? Yeah, there's time. Now, we did just get some really interesting intel from our friend Simon, Britt Simon. Thank you. Britt may be on tonight. He gave us some really interesting intel about the processes and about what Department of State is doing. That they lied. The Department of State lied. They said the temporary pause on visa issuance, they would still do all the work up to the point of interviewing and then just not make an adjudication. And we know that's not true. And so now they've only scheduled about 17,000 people for DVs. And that means there's still 30 plus thousand available, 37,000 available. And current, everybody's pretty much current for the most part, but you've got a scheduling issue. So we're going to call this out in our brief. And it is vitally important that the judge understand this as we go forward. All right, let's see, Zach, we got some questions here. Any updates on Neela? Gave that update. We gave the update on the Georgia case. So Zach's going to figure out who's left because he's gathering all the data.
Love it.
Dear esteemed lawyers, how long?
We didn't hit a Mahdi. We didn't hit a Mahdi. That was the Colorado 39 country case.
Oh yeah,
they're all kind of in the same
in my
situation.
paper. What is going on in Colorado, Zach?
We're waiting on the judge's decision. We've let the judge know about Dorcas. I mean, it's kind of the same as all these other ones. PI is fully briefed.
It's really interesting that he was so hot to try. And your stuff's been filed for a couple of weeks now, right?
I mean, I had hearing on the 3rd. So yeah, everything was filed in May. We had expedited briefing on motion to dismiss and PI in May for a quick hearing in June. And here we are a month later, almost exactly, with nothing.
We get it. All right. How long does it take, Judge Land? The judges have no deadlines. There are no deadlines. So the judge can take as long as he wants. Unfortunately, you can't force a judge to do anything. Any possibility of the 75 country case in July? There should be. It's fully briefed. We can't tell you exactly when it's going to be adjudicated. This is how litigation works in the United States. This is just how it works. It's always worked this way. Still in touch with the defendant's lawyer in Georgia. Yes, we talk all the time, and I know he is pushing people. I know he specifically is pushing people. Let's see. Thank you for the update. It's great to hear some plaintiffs receive. Do any of your N400 plaintiffs also get the interview scheduled in Yale? I don't know.
I haven't heard of any. I haven't heard of N400s. I have not heard of N400s.
I know a couple of my clients who weren't plaintiffs have been scheduled. So I know they're doing that. Need clarity. Second lawsuit from the talk about 30. My visa was refused on 212F due to president. Okay, so the 212F, that's a separate issue of refusal. We are not litigating the 212F refusal. So, but they're not going to issue the visa until when we get an order on this. And this is, I guess I'm confused here. 39 country ban is for the USCIS. So are you referring to the Massoud case?
No, they're talking about being in the second DV case, but being from one of the countries subject to an entry ban.
We are not litigating the bar, but we will ask the judge to order the Department of State to go back and undo 212F revocations as part of the order, because 212F denials, because 212F is not a ban to getting a visa. It's a ban to entry. And I think that's a consular error more than anything else, because other consulates aren't doing that. Okay, that's just only been select few consulates. Is it possible to merge DV20 with the first case? No, we don't need a merger. Okay, the judge understands the timeline, and we're not merging. There have been discussions in Telegram groups, which we're not part of, is only shown it does not. No, it is not correct. We're amending the complaint to put a 75 country pause in. All right. DV case, if Judge Leon does not come with a decision before, what would be your next step? Nothing. If you don't get a visa by September 30th, I mean, you're asking a question that we cannot answer. So, sorry, we think you'll have the opportunity to get a visa before then.
We did fight that fight before in 2021, where we got a reservation of, what was it, 9,000
we won
extra
the reservation
visas.
issue and lost on appeal. So there are no reservation visas.
Yeah, government appealed it, and DC
Greg's
did.
there. Greg.
Hi, Greg.
The Gregster. So did I miss the Amati case? I don't know. Did she miss the Amati case?
She did. She did not. We didn't say it, but then we've now given the update, so we're good.
All right. So that's the one in Colorado, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Is it going to be a TRO or a DV? Well, if you're here at the beginning, I told you we were initially we're going to do a PI, but I'm leaning more towards a TRO. One, because we're going to ask for a compressed time frame. Now, that might piss him off. So we have a fine line to walk, but that's our legal judgment to make. And we'll make that legal judgment this week. In order if I've ever can accelerate the AP process of those plaintiffs who are still on AP after interview. No, we're not. That's an individualized mandamus type of situation. And it depends on why you're in AP. I mean, everybody's AP would be different, generally speaking. For the Raji case, the plaintiffs keep waiting the government to respond. Well, that's how it works. The government has to respond to the motion. That's how it works.
And no, because Judge just responded. Now we're waiting on the judge to rule. So it's
Yeah.
not for the government to respond. It's
Really,
for the
yeah, that's done. So, normal person 2099. This is what might happen in DV case. AI. This must be true if it came from AI. Greg, make a note. AI predicts the future. AI told me that in Kelly Bases Hegseth, they filed an emergency motion for TRO. Judge Leon turned it into PI and gave it February 12th.
So this couldn't have been a DV case if the defendant was Pete Hegseth. So
No, this is not. This is not.
It is possible for a judge to convert a TRO to a PI and say, no, I'm not going to do a TRO. I'm going to have you brief with the PI instead. But that's not a DV case. I don't know what case that is, but it's not a DV case.
No, I don't know what that is.
It have to be against the Defense Department.
Yeah. Is it possible that the judge in Georgia cases are more EADs? Oh, if everybody's done, we'll dismiss the case.
So what I will say though is that we're getting a lot of approvals, but not like every single case that everybody has is necessarily approved. So somebody could have like an EAD 45, like both of those pending. And I'm seeing the EADs approved, but not necessarily the 485 part of things. So like it's possible to update the judge on that situation. I think the government would update it more than we would, but I would want everybody's application to be adjudicated before we dismissed anything.
Right now, we have a fully briefed motion in front of the judge, and we're really working with the government to get the key EADs approved. That's the whole purpose right now. All right. Can we start a group lawsuit challenging the lack of a waiver process for the 39-country ban? And again, I think they're talking about what we would call the 75-country ban, or are they just talking about
they're talking about entry bans where the
no, I think they're talking about the actual 39-country ban, not the 39-country pause.
All right. So then in this case, you're talking about a 212F litigation. So this is something I've thought about a lot because you go back to Trump versus Hawaii. One of the reasons Trump versus Hawaii came out the way it did is because there was waivers / exceptions. There are essentially no waivers exceptions this time. So can you challenge that? Yes, I think that's challengeable. Will you win that challenge? It's going to be a very expensive challenge because it's going to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is, if they win and they create a waiver process, that doesn't mean they're going to grant the waiver process to the person.
No, they might deny every waiver, right?
So one thing somebody brought up to me, one of the plaintiffs
I'm not sure.
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off.
This might be my favorite question. If reservation of visas didn't work before, why not try it again? Because there is you can't do it.
There's precedent.
Yeah, you as a lawyer, you don't file a case in which you know that you lose. I would call that bad faith, personally. But any update on the last declarations we have submitted? Thanks for your great job. That must be in your case, back in Colorado.
Yeah, it's the Amati one. They're submitted. Everything is in front of the judge now. We're just waiting on the judge's decision.
All right. My unmarried brother in Iran and my 88-year-old citizen sponsored, must be parent. Now time to do full duty. Should I get a lawyer or maybe you? I must be talking to you, Zach. I believe you should always hire a lawyer to do these things, but that's just me. But why don't we fight again for DV reservation? Because we're going to lose the fight. Why are you going to fight a losing argument? I'm not going to waste my time doing it. You should file your own lawsuit.
I mean, that's got ethical issues involved as well. If you file a case that, you lose a case and you file the same case, there's a reason that we follow precedent here. And if the precedent says no, precedent says no.
All right. Do you have a recommendation for a lawyer for interview in Washington State?
Depends on where you're at.
Yeah. If you're in the Seattle area, who would you recommend, Zach? Anybody at the top of your head, Greg? I would say call Bob Paul's
our co-counsel that we regularly use up there.
Oh, yes. Can't remember his name. Email Greg offline.
I'll send it. If you send me a message, I'll track them down.
All right. So we we are literally done. We've got everybody answered here. Thank everybody for tuning in. It's been great to have everybody
All
with
right,
us.
sorry for running late.
No, Greg, we were late too, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, no, I saw your message late. I saw your message at a meeting all day that just got out of. But go Team USA. I was
8
like
o'clock
surprised that this
tonight.
call
Go America.
wasn't bumped for that, so you can watch all the pregame.
My question is, if we lose to Bosnia, how long do we hang our head in disgrace? But
We blame
a
Trump
European
and
was
move
telling me
on.
Bosnia's got a good team.
We blame Trump and move on.
Isn't Bosnia like the size of Tampa? I mean, come on. We should have a
All
couple
right.
extra.
Well, I
athletes.
just watched. I was just watching in the background Senegal almost knock off Belgium, so I know that was that weird things were possible today. I think
it's the World
England
Cup.
also
Crazy things happen.
barely won.
Well, thank you,
This is
everybody.
what-
Be careful
All right,
out there.
guys.
See you next week. Take care.